Coolio. Right, so CJ, I don't even know where to begin because there's so much happening just now with your stuff and the Wildhearts. It's hard to know how to start this interview.
Well, that's you wanted to interview me, like, I don't know, it was weeks ago, and I said, wait. I couldn't really, so I said, wait until after the live feed, if you remember. There'll be probably more to talk about then. So,
well, I guess we start with the live stream then, and we just, it's obviously been pretty well accepted by everybody. Is that you okay? Something happened?
No, you broke up then. I'll have to repeat
sorry.
that.
Okay, no worries. The live stream obviously seems to have gone down a treat with everybody. People seem to be happy, well, mostly, but you can't please everybody all the time, I guess. How did you guys find it? I know you obviously sort of pre-recorded it, but still, what was it like?
I'll be really honest with you. As a band, we didn't want to do this, and we were asked a lot by our management company during lockdown to maybe think about doing something like this. And I'm glad we didn't do it last year. I'm glad we waited till now to do it. And reluctantly, it was all right. Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was going to be. I haven't really seen it, to be honest with you. So I've heard it, and I had to check all the parts, and I literally checked them all. I mean, yeah, that's fine, put it out. So I haven't really seen it. So but I've heard it's all right, and I'm glad we did it because we got together and it felt like we were almost doing a gig, and it's been so long. It was really good for the band. I think it was really good for band morale, and the fans seem to like it. I don't really pay much attention to what fans are saying. I know isn't there like some forum on Facebook?
Yeah, the Wildhearts group, but for the fact that they love your band, they're the biggest critics of everything that ever happens with it, so I tend to try not to get bogged down too much in that.
Aren't all those kind of forums aren't they all like that though? It's where the fans really can kind of
and
then they never say it to our face.
Well, that's the thing. In saying that, most people are absolutely just blown away by the live stream. We're just so glad to get anything in the way of live music. So, you'd have been happy with you standing out the back doing a quick,
Can I say something? I mean, when we tour in September, we will be doing a new set. We won't be playing those same songs again. Hence, we're just saying we're not doing, Shitsville. We're not going to do 29 to Pain. We are putting together a new set, but we wanted this, to be a kind of, it's like we ask people to choose songs, but it's like we know they're going to choose all,
Yeah, exactly. It's not a surprise to anybody, but we're all guilty of wanting to hear the ones that we know. We want all the hits, if you like, But
it was great. We loved it. We all loved it.
It was good. There was, the way that it was actually filmed was pretty interesting as well. It looked so much like it was a kind of rehearsal, that was the kind of vibe that it was. It was as if we were watching this little sort of intimate rehearsal because you all had your headphones on and stuff. But that was good. It's different,
There was no way we were going to do a pretend gig in front of a pretend audience and jump around on a stage like we're playing in front of people, because it's not us, and we need that feedback from. So we said when we were going to do this, we won't be doing it in a venue. We won't be doing it with full production and a stage. It would have to be that kind of in the studio. Sort of. So it was done on purpose like that because we didn't want to, go through the motions and pretend we'll, kicking ass on a stage.
I know. There's no point doing your mad jumping about and putting your knee out if there's nobody watching to get the benefit, I guess.
It's pointless. I mean, it's I kind of like the way the bits I saw. I don't think the cameraman knew our songs very well, and whoever edited it maybe had just come out of sixth form college, but it looked good. It looked really erratic and all over the place, and I kind of like that. I kind of like the look of the cameramen, they look like they're off their faces.
Yeah. But the thing, it was quite good from my point of view because I got plenty of nice close-ups of your guitars and stuff, which is fine by me, but I think one of the comments was I think folk would have maybe liked to have seen more sort of all the band, at one time.
We're hideous. Yes, our instruments are the nicest part about the band. You know? Yeah.
I know, and the sound was great. I mean, it was clear as a bell, and it was really well done. So I think everybody really appreciate just getting a chance to see you guys. Of course, there were all the extras that came with it, and I'm still wading my way through. But so far, what I've watched, I was watching your Frank Turner interview, obviously try to get some ideas and not to repeat all the questions that he asked. He looked a bit fanboy, actually. I was quite sort of happy that he looked quite uncomfortable.
He really loves the band. I mean, he's a big fan. So and he's such a lovely guy as well, you know. But we have fans in high places. We're like the band who never quite made it. So you know, everyone knows who we are, but you know, in fact, we're the biggest secret going, I think, as a band. Because once you discover us, you will like us. But we are kind of an unknown entity, but we have fans.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I obviously have lots of friends who are fans, but if I say, you know, that my favourite band's the Wildhearts, you do sometimes get quite a blank expression. And I don't know why that is, because I feel like, what was it, 32 years that the band's been on the go. Yeah. And you have had like quite a lot of sort of commercial acclaim. It's very strange, but maybe that's why, I don't know, as a fan, we quite like that. You know, it's like our little sort of secret.
I mean, we are a cult band. I mean, definitely a cult band. I mean, especially, you know, now my son's at primary school. I meet a lot of mums and dads, and they'll always go, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'll explain to them what I do, and they're going like, "Wow, your band's been together a long time." And I went, "Yeah," and they go, "Oh, we'll check you out on YouTube or whatever." And then the next time they meet me, they're like, "Oh God, you're the real deal. I thought you were full of shit." And I go, "Well, why would I lie?" You know, everyone's always about to sign a record deal, or they've done this and that. And go, you've actually done it. And I went, yeah, I'm still doing it.
Yeah. And so what do you actually say in that? You know, if you're standing in the playground, somebody says, "What do you do?" Do you just say, I'm a rock star? Because that's what I would say.
No, because I don't feel like a rock star. I don't drive an Aston Martin and I don't live in a mansion. So I always tell them I'm a guitarist, singer, you know, and I play in a rock band, and they're going, "Oh, do you do local gigs?" And I go, "Well, not the pubs." No,
yeah, exactly. Do you do covers? Yeah. So obviously the new album Preorder came out as well. So that's
band and everything, and they do their homework 9 times out of 10, and they're like, "Wow, you guys are like proper, you know, like a proper band."
Yeah, totally. So yeah, the Preorder, it looks as if it's flying out the door, so that must be quite encouraging as well.
Yeah.
Do you sort of, I take it you can sort of know how many you've sold already, and pretty much everything's selling out, is it?
It goes through our label Graphite, so we don't actually know yet, but our manager said it's going really well. So you know, it's worth it for the cover alone, I think.
Well, obviously I work in cardiology, so I'm a wee bit kind of used to that kind of image, but it looks quite anatomically correct. So well done on whoever did the design. But no, I mean, I remember when the Renaissance Men came out, and everybody kind of felt like it was a return to form. It was this sort of like, you know, amazing record that we'd kind of been waiting for. But I kind of almost feel like this is going to top trumps that already.
It's a good one, yeah. It is a good one. I mean, there's some it's a really good volume of music, and it's meaty. It's like a really delicious big fat like burger. Something to get your teeth into. I think you know, everyone always says, "Oh, they're you know, their new album's their best album." You know, our best album was our first album. Let's not beat around the bush. You know, if it wasn't for that album, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you.
Yeah.
But this is equally, you know, as good or up there with it. So, you know.
So who is it? Both of you that write? Or does everybody write?
No, Ginger's this version of the album has 10 tracks, and then we've recorded 14 tracks, and I've written 2 of the other 4 songs. So we're going to do with those songs. But the version people are getting now is a 10 track, and it's 10 of Ginger's songs, and it's great. It's really good. I mean, he's on such form at the moment, so it's brilliant.
It's because that's everybody's favourite hobby as well. They have to try and work out which songs they think CJ wrote. It's a kind of,
Well, you can just look at it and it'll say everything has to be credited. So unless you can't read, you're a bit screwed with everything credited. You can't get away with anything these days.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that we've done this album, and I think it's amazing that we didn't even rehearse, and I was never in the studio with Ginger or Richie or Danny at any stage of the recording of this album.
Really? So it was all done in isolated parts, was it? Oh my God, right. It's amazing what you can do these days, thanks to a pandemic.
Ginger did some rough demos, rehearsed the parts at home. He was good enough to put a guide guitar down, and I went down there and did my guitars and sung my parts, and it was, we've never recorded like that before, and not rehearsed and not done a bit of pre-production, but it's really worked. There's a vibe to this album, which it's obviously it's a different producer as well to Renaissance Man, so it has a slightly different sound. I think, I can't imagine anyone being disappointed.
That's very exciting. Just need to wait till September, right enough. But I guess we'll manage.
So that's half the battle, isn't it? We're all
I'm excited about the vinyl actually, because that picture disc that came out today looks rather nice. But we'll see.
Awesome, that is. Yes. I can't keep up with what's actually coming out, but I don't pay any attention to it. So it's not the days of me looking at what's for sale, and it's long gone. It's like the battle for me was getting the album recorded and getting it to a point where we all really love it. That's really, and then the rest is what happens after we've done our bit.
That's it. It's out of your control after that point, I guess. So I watched obviously your cook along interview as well. Now that was pretty amazing. I just, I don't think 50 years ago, but, when you started the Wildhearts and you were kind of cutting about Japan in a state of kind of stimulation, you probably never thought that you were going to end up doing a cook along on a Saturday night.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like cooking's always been a big part of my life, and having like an Indian dad and a mum from the Seychelles, and they'd cook a lot. My mum always made her own home, like her own hot sauce and stuff like that, so there's a connection to whatever I'm doing. So I grew up with amazing food. And, most restaurants I didn't eat in because the food was better at home, and so I've always had I really struggled when I came back to Britain when I was 15 at how bad the food was, especially in the 80s. It was terrible. And and the shit people ate as well. And right now, food is getting really good in this country. I mean, there's such especially London, there's such a choice. But so I struggled with the food in Britain. So, but I could cook. So, I cook the food I love, and whether it's pizza, whether it's curry, whatever it is, if I see something I like, I'll learn how to cook it. And then,
so you're going to take this cookery book forward, are you? Because I know you said you'd have to choose between a punk album and a cookery book, but I don't see why you need to choose. I think 2 would be fine.
I need a publishing deal to do a cookery book, see, because when I do an album, I know what I'm going to earn, and so I know for me to record an album, I need to sit down for about 4 months. It will take me to record an album, and I then get paid for that work until the album comes out. But I know I'll get paid for that work. Now, if I sit down for 4 months and work on a book and it can't come out, or I can't afford to put it out, then I've wasted 4 months of my life, and I'm going to have to send my son back down a coal mine. So can't do that. So my manager's working on talking to some publishers, or trying to sort out a deal. So if I get a deal for the book, the album goes in whole, I'll do the book.
Cool. I think people would definitely buy it. I mean, your food on Instagram, I mean, just looking at it dribbling, it looks amazing. Would you do something like Celebrity Masterchef? I'm not suggesting that I know you're going to be asked.
No, I'd never do anything like that. So I'm not interested in the type of food which really doesn't appeal to me is really fancy food. And I see these dishes and they're really nice, but I've seen you know, you go to like Japan and you see the food they're producing out there, and it wipes the floor of anything on Masterchef. And I hate poncy food. I think food should cross all classes. And the minute someone says you've got to dress a certain way and eat in a certain way, it puts me right off. You know, my favorite types of food are like, you know, I love curry. Curry crosses all classes. I love chicken wings. You know, I love pizza. Pizza, you pick it up, eat it with your hands. You know, and it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. And I like that. That's the type of food I like, gourmet junk. And when you start getting poncy and, you know, you start trying to get posh, and it does my head and it turns my stomach a bit. You know, and I'm a firm believer in being abstract and doing things the way you want. And the minute someone tells me you've got to do it that way, I'm like, fuck off. There's a million and one ways to peel a potato, and I'm going to choose a way which isn't the way you just told me.
Totally. Your hot sauce appeared to nearly kill the interviewer the other night at the cook along. Actually, I found that quite amusing. These chilies that you use must be, I don't know, I couldn't even, I think even the mild, you know, sauce is pretty much my top level of spice, but I know these people that like you who want it like the hottest thing on earth. It's mad.
They're not that hot. They're just nagas, and they like the kind of like the bottom of the kind of hot chilies, but they're not going into the super hot things like like Reapers and Scorpions. No, because I mean the thing is, it's like I love my hot sauce, but I put other stuff on my food, hotter stuff. And I actually use a lot of chili flakes. I like smoked ghost pepper chili flakes. So I tend to put them on my food. And my favorite of my sauce is the garlic. So I'm making a garlic extreme, which is the hottest version of myself, but a garlic version of it just for me. So that, I mean, but I've got a hot sauce. I'm actually opening my shop next month for about 10 days. So because I only open it a few times a year, my shop. So
any more tea towels on the go?
I've got a cushion I'm working on.
A cushion, brilliant.
Apron, because it's barbecue season. And some t-shirts, but no more tea towels just yet. But I can't do the sauce full time because it takes up so much of my time. But I like the way I kind of sell it and then it runs out. Everyone runs out of it, and then I put it on sale again. So mid-May. I will be opening my shop for about 10 days. And then if you don't buy the sauce, then you probably won't be able to get it again this year.
So, well, that'll build up the excitement for that. I'm sure people will buy that. So I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you things about, like, you've obviously given up drinking.
It's fine. Yeah, you can ask me anything.
Did you do it for sort of on purpose? Did you just decide that you would give it a go?
No, it's like I mean, I stopped smoking, God, a long time ago, a decade ago. I stopped doing drugs when I turned 40, and you know, it's just stages in my life where, you know, I've done so much of something. I need to knock it on the head. I've got a 6-year-old son. I want to be really healthy for him, and you know, last year during lockdown, I started drinking a lot, and a lot of it was to cope with what my parents are going through, with both of them having dementia, both of them being homes, not being able to see each other. My mum hasn't seen my dad since May last year, and the last time we saw him, she was saying goodbye to him because he was dying in hospital. But he survived and he's got better now. So I really want them to come out of their respective homes. And you know, last 4 times I visited my dad, he didn't know who we were, but I saw him last Sunday and he knew who I was. And he was actually, for the first time in over a year, he asked where my mum was.
Oh my!
It was amazing, and I had to, you know.
It's so hard, and I mean, it's, you know, I know from the point of view of working in my job that the patients we've seen who have not been out and have no company and no family to speak to, they're glad to come to the hospital, ironic as that is, but you know, they just want company, and they just want that, you know, that's a sense of having somebody to talk to, and it's so sad.
I mean, I visit my mom and dad in their respective homes, but I mean, last year I you know, with all the shows being cancelled and everything, and I'm not one to sit still. I'm always working and doing stuff, but I just started hitting the bottle a bit too hard, and by the end of the year, a switch went off in my head. Like, you got to stop drinking. So that switch went off and I stopped drinking. I mean, I never say never, but I don't think I'll start drinking again. I can't see it happening. I love how I feel not drinking. I love how I feel not taking drugs. I love how I feel not smoking. And it's like I'm almost, I mean, I don't, the only thing, I bought a coffee machine this morning. It's broken, the one I've got. So I bought one of those really nice bean to cup things.
Oh,
thing. We can make it. I only drink black coffee or espressos, but this thing will make, you know, if someone comes down and they don't really like coffee, I'll make them a cappuccino or a latte.
You can go full on barista, CJ style.
I am. I'm going to go mental with it. But I woke up this morning going, right, I've got to get a coffee machine because the one I've got is just, it's really on its last legs and I love it. But I went, yeah, so right. I either go just full posh or, you know, just get like a crappy one. And I went, no, I'm going to get a nice one. So I promised myself that. So that, because I'm not drinking, I'm saving a shitload of money as well. It's really
That's
good.
The thing. I thought I was going to save an awful lot of money over lockdown because I had no gigs to go to, but I don't know if I've spent it on something else and I'm not quite sure what, to be fair. But
I mean, I've spent a lot on booze. I mean, when I was drinking a lot, I was drinking like a bottle of like champagne or Prosecco. I got a real taste for bubbles. So I was drinking like, you know,
That's
Prosecco,
very decadent.
champagne, and beer as well. And then I have to stay away from whiskey. So which is my favorite drink. But it just, I'm really glad I stopped. It worked for me, and a lot of my friends around me were stopping and had stopped, and I found that what they were saying really inspiring, and I was just like, right, I've got to do this. And the people around me, even my son went, you know, he's 6, he went, I really like it when you're not drinking because you don't shout at me.
Oh, bless. I know it's hard, and Josh is just, you're going to have an absolute nightmare of a life because he's such a cute wee boy already and he just looks the coolest thing ever. So is he going to follow in your footsteps? Does he sort of no?
Definitely not. I hope not. I mean, things are different now. I mean, when you know, like me and Ginge, when we moved to London in our, you know, when we were teenagers and everything, and you know, the government helped me. I signed on. They never hassled you. You could get your money, go off and do gigs and whatever. And times were different then, you know, and you could wheel and deal. It's not like that anymore, you know. So what I want for Josh is to have a really good education, go to university, get a degree and get a job in something which is going to, you know, you see, there's a lot of people going into the arts. Most of them have parents who are connected or quite wealthy, so there's you know, you don't see many people from working class backgrounds coming into, you know, the arts anymore, and there's a reason for that. It's hard.
So like, what were you going to do before you ended up in the Wildhearts? Did you have any kind of idea of like for a you know, a career? If you hadn't been in the Wildhearts, what would you be doing?
No, from the age of 12 I always wanted to be in a band. Always, you know, it was I saw Kiss on the Unmasked tour with their full makeup in there in 1980, and then when I saw them on stage, I turned around to my dad and go, "That's what I'm going to do."
And he said, "Don't be so ridiculous."
Yeah, well, no, he comes from a really musical family, so his 2 brothers moved to New York to join bands, you know, and so, my dad joined the British Army. His country is from Guyana, which was a part of the British colony. He could join the British Army, where his family, they all moved to New York. So I have about 200 relatives in New York. So, but my dad's family are they all sing, they all play and stuff. So, you know, it kind of runs in the family. But no, so from the age of 12, all I ever wanted to do was be in a band, make albums, tour around the world. Yeah, that was it. And if I didn't do that, I wanted to be a vet before that.
All right, okay. Do you ever think that would have been a better choice?
No, because I have friends who are vets and they went, you know, 6 years at, you know, uni, and I wouldn't be able to handle it. No, it's not. I mean, being in, you know, I started playing when I was 16, 17 in bands. I'm 53 now, and you know, I look back, I've made more mistakes than, you know, correct decisions, but I wouldn't change anything. And I like when I'm with Josh at his school and I'm talking to the other parents, you know, I'm like a really odd person. You know, what I do, the way I look, the way I speak, and the reason I'm like that is because I've been in bands all my life, and I've been in the Wildhearts for 32 years and toured around the world. And I like that. I like that about myself, that I'm really off-center and slightly eccentric. And I don't talk like, you know, nothing wrong with the plumbers, the builders, the lawyers, the soldiers, the doctors out there, but I don't talk that language. You know, my stories are different. You know?
It was quite interesting what you were saying in the other interview about the fact that you know, you've all, you know, the band split up and we all know that, but it's come back together, and it just sort of, does it just now feel that that's the way it's going to stay? Do you think that now, you know, you've got to a point where you're sort of harmonious with each other, or you've learned to tolerate each other?
There's always drama in any band. I think you'd be hard pushed to find bands that get on all the time. But I did say to Ginger last year, I was going, I think we'll be doing this until, you know, someone can't physically do it anymore. So I mean, I can see myself playing in the Wildhearts well into my 60s, you know, and it's another reason why I really, you know, I look at lives in like thirds, you know, and I'm on the last third of my life. And it's one of the reasons why I really want to, I move now on stage as much as I did when I was a young man. And there's a reason for it, because I want to go out kicking and screaming. And, you know, I love to get up on stage and have a dance and have a sex, you know, sing song. And it's really important. It's really important that I'd be awful if the band stopped, you know, tomorrow, and I'd have to be, you know, I'd be in my 50s looking for a job at home base. Terrible.
You get a great discount, I'm sure, but that's probably not enough to be an incentive. So what was I going to ask you? Yeah, you said Kiss, but I mean, you've obviously met loads and loads and loads of amazing sort of rock stars and things, but is there anybody that you either would want to meet, or anybody that you would go a complete fanboy if you did?
No,
nobody at all.
No, I mean, I think Danny's like me as well. We're if I meet people, yeah, it's great, but I'm not like, no, I'm not a fan. I've met the people I really want to meet, you know. They're all, you know, obscure, kind of smallish, you know, musicians. There was a singer I really wanted to meet, but he's dead now, and he's my favorite singer, a guy called Sean Smith. And no, I'm no.
In a word, no.
None of them even close to my little boy. He's better looking at him, and he's cooler than all of them.
Yeah, totally, absolutely is. So just talking about things like tattoos, obviously you have kind of taken on quite a few in the last few years, including up in Glasgow. Are you missing it? Because it's clearly addictive.
Yeah, I mean, I like the pain, and it's getting tattooed really helps focus you if you're that way inclined, and it clears my mind, and I find it really relaxing. But yeah, it's an exquisite type of pain. It's very painful, but for me, I find it cleansing. Yeah.
What are you like when you're getting a tattoo? Because I know that I talk from the second I get there entirely all the way through, and then I'm so glad when it's finished, but I just rabbit on. But do you sort of channel?
Yeah, I talk. I mean, sometimes I zone out a bit and fall asleep. I've been known to just kind of fall asleep. Yeah, it depends. I mean, I'll talk. I mean, I'm getting tattooed next month in Devon.
All right.
So, and I am coming up to Glasgow as well, because Gillian, Nirvana tattoo, Gillian Baggage, she does all my tattooing up in Glasgow. So I'm coming up there soon. But no, I missed it last year. I really missed it. It felt like I wasn't having therapy. I got tattooed once last year, I think. Yeah, I did get tattooed once.
Do you know what you're going to get now? You know, have you got one in mind? Sort of.
It's been designed and everything. I'm getting my chest tattoo. Well, the right side of my chest is like it's an extension of the Japanese stuff I've got on my arm here, and it's like a Japanese skull going across my chest with the waves coming over. Yeah. So and then I'm going to get something on this side. I'm going to slowly get all my arms filled, parts of my chest filled, and then I'm getting a banner down my back. Wow. And then I'll start on my legs, but I kind of left it. I got my first proper decent sized tattoo when I was 46, and I was to celebrate my son coming along. So I've left it quite late, but I've really got the bug now. So.
Yeah, totally. And is the beard staying? Are we loving this beard now?
I like it. Yeah. I like it when people say I look distinguished.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah, I'm leaving it for summer. I'm going full Maharaj, and I'm going to get tips on. I'm growing it out. I'm leaving it for now because I really enjoy it, and it's like I haven't had hair for so long. It's like a pet.
It's nice to stroke.
Yeah, it's nice to have hair on my head. Yeah.
Now, tell me, I'm intrigued by this computer you've built, because to me, I just don't know, how do you build a computer? It looks amazing.
It's I was just playing games when you I was working.
Space Invaders. Oh my God. Oh, that's bizarre.
I've got a different thing on there. It's like a ball on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My goodness. How is that a computer? What part of the computer is that?
It's I've always been into technology, and I was a really unhappy child in the 70s because the games were shit. I don't like board games. I didn't like Action Man or anything like that. All I wanted to do was have the things they had in sci-fi movies, and you know, and live in the modern age. And then computer games slowly came out, and I was just like, and what kids have now, that's what I want. I mean, I've got a 6-year-old who just has the coolest toys. They're 100 times better than the toys. And I know you get old fuddy-duddies. Oh, they're not using their imagination. It's like, shut up.
I know. Why would they?
I'm not a nostalgic person at all. And I don't live in the past. I'm always living in the present and looking forwards, because, you know, you can't change the past. And people live in the past too much. I find they get depressed a lot more than, you know, people live in the moment, because you're always dwelling on regrets, dwelling on mistakes, things you did, and you shouldn't do that. You've got to let it go. And when I start thinking like that, I tell myself off. It's like, you know, well, why are you doing that? You know?
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, without all this kind of technology, I don't know how we would have all survived this last year. You know, the thing somebody said about would never get through it on a Nokia 6210 playing Snake, which is true enough, really, you know.
Technology kept a lot of people sane, I think, last year. And for all those people who, you know, who diss modern gadgets and the way things are in the modern world, if we didn't have them last year, I think things would have been a lot more people in like dire trouble. You know?
Absolutely.
Keep in contact with my parents, although via Skype, and my dad didn't have a clue who I was, but I could still see him, and I could still talk to my mom and stuff. And if it didn't have that, you know, I didn't see my girlfriend for 4 months because she's down south. You know, but we talk each night on you know, WhatsApp and see each other, and you know, and it's you've got to embrace, you know, the modern world. You can take bits of the past and bits of what's really good, you know, but you've got to embrace the modern world. And people who are frightened of it aren't, you know, you've got to, because it's important. And it's really important that I've got a 6-year-old son. I know more about computers and stuff than I know, and he loves it. I'm a 53-year-old man. I could be one of those typical 53-year-olds who doesn't know anything, you know, and you know, still, you know, reading newspapers and stuff.
Oh God, who does that?
Exactly.
So with touring and things, kind of, you know, how's it going to work? I wonder, what's your sort of opinion on all this? You know, should we go down the road of passports and COVID testing, and is that what's going to happen, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I'm vaccinated. I'm waiting for my second one. I haven't got a problem with that. The whole band's vaccinated. I don't think Danny is. He must be now, because we're all over 50 and Danny's 49. So, and just by sheer fate or coincidence, all me, Ginger, and Richie all got vaccinated on the same day as well. It's just really bizarre. But none of us had any reactions to it. If there's any way to get out of, you know, what's going on right now, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
You
I
know?
don't understand the mindset of people who don't particularly want to sign up for these things, because if we want to get back to gigs and big sort of, you know, or even small intimate gigs, I mean, I wonder for like your tour in September in Stirling, the place that you're playing is teensy. So I hope, you know, that everything is in place for all that to go ahead.
I mean, we need to start playing live again. I mean, I think you'd be hard pushed to find any musician who wouldn't have the vaccine, because they've put so much crap in their bodies over the years. You know, I mean, what's it going to do? And
it's a bit ironic to.
One of the downsides for me during the whole lockdown thing was all the conspiracy theories coming out, and it does my head in. It really does. We're not that interested. We're really not that interested. There's a reason why no one has real footage of UFOs, because aliens look at us and go like, they're not that interesting.
No,
we are.
Oh, I know.
You know, what we have is an ego. You know, and you know, individuals aren't on the radar of the big conglomerates and all this. Like, what's the Illuminati? I mean, Jesus Christ, give me a break. The Illuminati, the Great Reset. Shut up.
I don't know where people get the imagination to think up these things, though. To be fair, you know, it's bizarre.
Bill Gates, that's what it is. He's controlling everyone with his nanobots.
Well, I was just hoping for better signal on my mobile after I got it, but you know, I haven't seen much change. But right. Listen, I don't know if there's anything else you have to say or promote or anything you would like to say, because
one thing I really got to say is like last year, you know, all our shows got cancelled. You know, that's our bread and butter. You know, and we wouldn't have survived as a band and as individuals if it wasn't for the fans supporting us, buying our merch. You know, they bought my solo album, they bought my sauces, you know, buying Ginger's stuff. And if we didn't have such a loyal and solid fan base, there's just no way we would have made this album. There's no way I would be here talking to you. You know, we're musicians. This is my job, and you know, by not going out playing live, it was a really worrying time. But we got through it. We really did got through it, and you know, there's really good things to come, and you know, people should just, you know, it's I think you can find some positivity. You know, I think you can almost see there might be some light at the end of the tunnel, and I think if you have that kind of hope, it will keep you strong and keep you moving forward. Stop reminiscing about the old days back in the 80s and 90s, because they weren't that good. Because if they were that good, you wouldn't be so smashed, would you, back then?
Well, thank you very much, CJ. That was awesome. You're a lovely chap, and I'm very glad to see that you're still doing what you're doing after all these years that I've been following you through.
Still smile.
I know.
So, all right, brilliant. Thank you very much. Do you like to be called Judith?
I don't really mind, because some people call me Judith and some people call me Jude. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I seem to be Jude on my radio. I seem to be that on my radio show. So yes, well, what I'll do is I'm planning to sort of like do a kind of condensed version to put in my 2 shows, and then if you're okay with it, I'll put probably the whole thing up just as a kind of standalone thing, and that would be amazing.
Definitely.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you.
All right, Jude, and hopefully I'll see you in September, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try and stalk you for a plectrum when we get the chance.
Brilliant.
Right, CJ. Right. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Bye. Oh, bless.